Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammed Naveed, and in this lecture I'm going to teach you a segment dimension tool and 3-point callout in CorelDrawx8. In order to use this both tool, first you need to come in the toolbox of CorelDrawx8, and here we have segment dimension tool, and the last we have 3-point callout. First we will see segment dimension tool. Now it is very similar to other tools which we have learned in our previous lectures, but because of new visitors or because of new the viewers, I am going for segment dimension tool first. For instance, you have an object. For example, if I take an object, and that can be any, but in this case I am taking rectangle. So right now I have rectangle. Now what I do, simply I will go and I will click on segment dimension tool, and here I will just simply click and just drag your mouse and just release your mouse, and it will give you dimension. For instance, if you want to take dimension here, so just click and just click again, and it will also give you dimension. So whenever you want a dimension from top to bottom or from left to right, you can use segment dimension tool by just clicking. By just one click you can get the dimension. Then we have, if you come to up, so you will see here the decimal dimension type. The first is decimal, fractional, US engineering, architecture. It's totally up to you which you select, but in this case if I'm selecting you can say decimal, so it's giving me that after 0 how many numbers do you want. For example, 0 point, you can see here, if I can show you, so you can see here right now we have 6.31. So it's asking that how many numbers do you want after point. For example, if you want 3, just click on 3 first. Let me select this first, and then I will go again. Okay, so if I go again and change, and you can see here that right now I have 5, 6. If I say 1, so I have just one after 1. I have just one number after point. So it's asking that how many numbers do you want after point. Then we have the dimension unit. For example, do you want in which unit do you want to measure? For example, do you want to measure in centimeter? Do you want to measure in meters? Do you want so in any measure? For example, if you can also measure in kilometer as well. So it's asking that on which you can say measure of unit you want. For example, kilometer, millimeter, anything, for example. Okay, then asking that do you want to show the millimeter, means you can see here display unit is showing that millimeter, stand for millimeter. So it's asking that do you want to show millimeter. If you do you want to show cm, if I say cm, or if I say inches, so you can see here inches has been written here. So do you want to show the inches written? So if you want, just click, and if you don't want, just click again. It will not show you again. Getting me? Then we have the 0.1. For example, if your value is less than 1, so do you want to show that 0.99, 0.98, 0.94 or something like that? If you want, just click on that. Then we have the prefix and suffix. Prefix means that at the beginning what you want, at the last what you want. For example, if I say here G at the beginning and the last I want Y, so you can see here at the beginning I have G, at the last what do I have? I have Y. So at the beginning you can say at the last what do you want? It's totally up to you. At the beginning I said G, at the last what I have Y. Then we have dynamic dimension. What is mean of that? For instance, if I increase the size of my object, so the number of this is written here will also be increased. For instance, if I increase the size, if I increase the size, so you can see here now, if I increase again, so is asking that before it was 8.4. Right now what do I have? 11.6. So it's basically updating itself when I increase the size. So it's asking that do you want to update itself when you increase the size? If you say yes, so it will increase the size for you. Then we have what we call means the text, means the position of your text, means where do you want to keep your text. For example, at the top, or at the center, or at the below, or where do you want to keep, or where do you want to show your you can say measurement. So if you say yes, here, top, bottom, through, so you can adjust the position here. Then we have the distance. Is basically talking about the distance from your object. You can see here now we don't have much distance from our object. For example, you can see here we don't have much difference. So it's asking that how much distance do you want. For example, if I say come here, and if I say here, maybe you are able to see the distance is coming less. So you can see here now we have much difference. So actually it determines the distance from your object. Okay, if I say 1 0, if I say 0, so you can see now it has been attached with this object. Then we have the extension means if I say here 1, so you can see here now the line has been extended after the, you can say the line. For example, if I can show you here, you can see here now this line has been extended. Let's suppose if I say here in the place of 2 or 1, if I say here 2, you can see here then that line has been extended. So you can extend the line, or you can also make the distance from your object. Then we have what we call the width of your this line. For example, if you want to change the width of your line, you can definitely adjust here. For example, if you say this, if you want to say this, or you can definitely adjust the size or width of your of this line. Then we have the arrow. For example, what kind of arrow do you want? If I can show you here, so you can see here is we have different kinds of styles. So what kind of arrow do you want, or if you want to change the style of this line, you can also set it here. So basically this is what we have, is all the segment dimension tool. Now second topic is 3-point call out. So what basically 3-point call out is, let's suppose you are making a book, or for example you have a drawing, for example the drawing of an engine, for example. So you want to show the piston, you want to show the wiring, you want to show generator, you want to show all the things in a one engine. So definitely use this 3-point call out. How? See here, for example, if I say here click, and if I hold down shift, it will give me a straight line, and if I press shift, it will also give me the straight line. So just simply click, and as you can see here, I can write, for example, I can also write piston, or you can write generator. So for example, you find that definitely we have generator in every engine in order to run proper engine. You can see here now we are able to see, you mostly see this kind of arrow line in your books or something like that. So you can also adjust this you can say the line here. For example, if you want to change the bounding box, or for example you want to say the circle here, if you want to change the, you are able to see the cursor, if you want the border, or if you want to do like this, or you have different line, if you want line, if you want box, so you can adjust here. And then we can also set the size. You can see here the size. We can also adjust as far from this, and we can also adjust the line width. For example, if I want to change the line width from 0 to 100, you can see here, or you can see here now we have the width has been changed. If you want to change the arrow, you can also change the arrow here. If you can also adjust the style of your line. So basically this is line. So basically this is all about segment dimension tool and 3-point call out in CorelDrawx8. I hope you have understood. For more videos you can come to my website www.naveedplace.com. Allah Hafiz, fi amanillah. Inshallah I will meet you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.